What is up, Saltcasters? It's your boy Smellsworth, and I just have to say that I miss you guys. I miss you a lot. And based on the schedule that we have coming up, I don't think I'm going to see you for at least 4 or maybe 5 days. And I wish that wasn't true, but that's just the sad state of affairs. Although I guess by the time this is posted on YouTube, we might actually even just be live with the next episode. Who knows? Anyway, this episode was Comm from version 1. Great Ones player and seemingly a great guy as well, since I got to know him on the podcast. A lot of interesting things come out in this podcast. We get to hear the story behind the famous 2v2 video of Jbot and Comm driving Lachinio to the brink of sanity. And we also find out a bit about what Comm doesn't know much about, which is that, I guess, EU Rocket League exists. So that's definitely an interesting part of the podcast. Make sure you stick around till that topic comes up, because it's very funny, extremely funny, stands out. Before we get into the episode, I just want to remind you to join the Discord, discord.gg/Smellsworth. All of the videos, whenever I post one, get uploaded there instantly. And there's a little message that says, "Yo, Smellsworth just posted another Saltcast episode. You're going to love it. Click right on it. Start watching it immediately. Give him that AdSense revenue you know he needs to survive." I am not a skinny person, okay? I need money to pay for the large amounts of food I eat. All right. Enough, okay? I appreciate you watching this episode, and I appreciate all your support up until now. Enjoy yourself. Comm, thank you very much for joining the pod. We appreciate you being here. What are you salty about?
Losing a lot of Game 5s and Game 7s to Space Station.
Okay.
Wait. That's inaccurate information. Didn't you beat them yesterday in a Game 5?
Right.
So why are you salty about it?
Number one that was the first one in 5 or 6. So
wait, how many? So didn't you beat them in the first regional?
The first regional, but then I think we played them probably 4 to 5 times after that and lost every single one.
I see. Okay. It's always Game 5 though.
Every single time.
Well, it seems like it's always Game 5. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But I mean, how is that, losing a Game 5? Because for some people, losing a Game 5, you're thinking, well, at least it was close. But at the same time, you're that close to winning and then you lose anyway, so the result's the same. But what's your take on it? It sounds like it's pretty much on the second train of thought there.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of losing in Game 5. I think I'd rather sweep or be swept for a lot of these. I'd like to just get out of there,
Oh, interesting.
Feels like I'm playing an extra 2 matches that, don't matter as much.
So you want a best of 1 RLCS format?
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
So I don't have to worry about playing.
I would love that. Imagine if a whole split was best of 1. Oh, the salt would be insane. I would love that so much. Like, obviously, it wouldn't probably be the best format for broadcasting, but oh boy, would it be hype. Every single game, tournament life on the line, single elimination, best of 1.
Single elimination, yep.
Yeah. It worked for 12 Titans. It was definitely exciting. So I think it could be good. Who do you think would be the best teams in that format, though? Who would be the best of 1?
Yeah, do you guys usually win Game 1? Or are you late bloomers?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I think we've won a lot of Game 1s recently.
Okay.
But I think it kind of flip-flops. The best teams would have to be like just kind of like the super aggressive teams, or the teams that play like just kind of catch you off guard, I think.
All the underdog teams, probably.
Yeah, all the like ranked teams that you'd see, I think those ones would actually be like way better in a best of 1 format.
Who's in that category for you? The ranked teams.
I don't know. It honestly have to be like just like going by like 6-man's rank. Anything like any team that's like a rank A probably or below would probably be what I'd classify as that. I feel like any of them could probably pop off like in a single best of 1 and probably be way better or get way better results than they currently get.
I think Jamal Jabari, they've got to be like the most scary
definitely
1-game team these days.
Mm-hmm.
They keep sweeping grid groups, and then, well, we'll see tonight, I guess, if they get round 1 again. Who are they playing?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
They're playing Alpine again, actually. Didn't they get Did they lose
got
to Alpine?
3-0'd, I think, by
Oh
Alpine.
my! Yeah, Jamal Jabari last week in the grid, they swept their group, which was a pretty stacked group, and then they got round one in the playoffs by Alpine 3-0, and they're playing Alpine again.
Yep.
That's hilarious. And Alpine have actually got a really good record against Jamal Jabari, so it could actually happen again. That's mad. You're playing against who do you have in the grid? You got KCP, which is a really cool match actually. That's tough
Yeah,
though.
we've played them once or twice. I know we've beat them once before. And I don't know if we played them again after that, but I know we beat them, I think, pretty convincingly at some point in the grid.
They started off really badly this split, and now they seem to have hit a better run of form. But we'll see if that will keep up. I think they did all right. Didn't they do all right last grid? There's so many grids, it is actually
Yeah, I can't keep track.
impossible to remember every result. It is not possible to remember off the top of my head. I always have to just go back and look in Liquipedia. Thank goodness for Liquipedia, by the way. I don't know where I would be as a Rocket League caster without this website.
Yeah, how long has Liquipedia been just owning Rocket League?
the best website for Rocket League, yeah. It's insane.
But there was, I do remember a time when that was not the case, and it was like you had to go to YouTube to figure out who won a series or something, or maybe Reddit, I guess. Which I'm sure
there was all these random bracket sites, but Wikipedia it's so much better than all the other bracket sites where you have to click on something and then wait for it to load, and then you click on something else and it loads the team on a separate page, and you have to go back to the bracket.
Yeah,
the upper bracket and the lower bracket are in different pages. Yeah, there's some bad bracket sites out there, but Wikipedia are number one. I honestly don't know what we do without Wikipedia. That's just a fact. I've got a reply to RoboForce in chat, by the way, Matt. He's asking, when are you tweeting the matchup trailer?
later after this episode, RoboForce. It shouldn't be too late. You should be awake still.
Yeah, so probably 45 minutes, RoboForce, right about then.
Yeah,
50 minutes he'll get tweeted out. Yeah, something like that.
Shout out to RoboForce, one of our excellent video editors for Salt Mine Underground, just absolutely murdering the game week after week or fortnight after fortnight. Gang is right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gang.
We
go ahead.
Sorry, Matt. I was just going to say, you mentioned earlier. I think it was you did say this during the intro. It wasn't before we went live. We were going to talk about the Communism name, because Comm used to run by the name Communism, which has obviously been changed to Comm. But what on earth is the background story to that? I myself have never figured it out. You're smiling.
Have you been on?
Going on?
I'm sure everybody asks you, but have you been on on record on a podcast or an article or anything about this before, or is this the first time you've had to explain to an audience?
I don't know if I've ever explained it to an audience before, but I know I have a command in my Twitch chat for it.
Sure, okay. Podcast exclusive.
Basically, it's just kind of a dumb story.
Excellent.
Some friends from school basically just pretty much dared me to make that my name, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds kind of funny. so I'll put a TM on it, because that's kind of ironic. So it was Communism TM, and I used to change back and forth between communism, capitalism. And then eventually I decided just to before I started that was before I started actually performing in the game, before I was actually good. That was probably before I was even Grand Champ, back in season 6 of season 6 of Ranked, and I just figured probably a decent idea to move away from that brand. So I ended up renaming to Comm after that.
Yeah, you would have had to go with Cap if you were renaming from capitalism.
Well, there is actually I think it's a commentator. I can't remember what game he does, but there's an esports commentator called Capitalist, isn't there?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
So, I think there is.
I believe you. I just unaware. How did you get started in Rocket League then, Comm? Did you play any games before Rocket League, or was Rocket League the first game you took very seriously?
I didn't really take any game super seriously. I just kind of bounced around. I was always pretty good at games. Most games I can pick up pretty quick. I used to play Call of Duty, and I used to be pretty decent at it. But I never sunk thousands of hours into a game or anything, or ever tried to go pro in a game until I got into Rocket League. Probably back in season 3 of Ranked. I started playing it on Xbox.
Yep.
And then I moved. I was Diamond 3, and I came to PC in October of 2017.
Okay.
And then after 2 months, I hit Grand Champ for the first time in like December, and I
Whoa.
figured, I'm kind of decent at this game, so I figured I'd keep on playing. And then it was probably about 6 months after, next summer, was when I first hit like rank 2 on 2v2. And I just pretty much was playing like 5-6 hours a day, just streaming, just grinding rank 2s out.
Damn.
Rank 2s. Yeah, so you really kind of came out of nowhere, at least from my perspective. And then you said you were streaming. I think you'd built up a little bit of a following, like who are very vocal and like telling me in my chat all the time, "Hey, this guy's insane. Like, you need to get him in a show match." I'm like, but where's this guy come from? Like, whenever like people come out of nowhere, I'm always thinking like, what's going on here? Like, when people suddenly just get insanely high rated, the first thing you're thinking of is like, okay, yeah, if they've just come out of nowhere, you don't know who they are, they're probably win trading. But you were streaming the whole thing, so I was like, well, actually, nice, stream it. So he can't be. So this guy has to be legit. So I reached out to you to see if you'd want to play a show match, and then you completely blew everybody's minds with one of the probably to this day most ridiculous like show match debuts that has ever been seen. Because what I can only describe it as is you dominated, but it was as if you were playing a freestyle 1v1. It was just ridiculous. Back to back clips. Every single goal was another clip on your opponent. And it was against Lion Blaze, who was rank 1 at the time. So it just didn't make any sense. What is going on here? Like, where did you get this playstyle, or where did you get the idea for this? Because I think you were way ahead of the meta. The meta is now a bit more like that in 1v1, but you were doing this over a year ago.
Yeah, so that was back to like when I first came up. Like I said, I got rank 2 in 2v2. That was summer of 2018, and then I kind of tried transitioning more into threes. Played a lot of 6-mans. I was like top of rank A for probably like 6 months. And then 2019 was when I started playing more 1v1. So that was probably around March, June, somewhere in that range, May. Was when I started playing a lot of 1v1, and I started streaming a ton of 1v1. And that's when I first got like I got up to top 10. And yeah, that was when you reached out to me. I think I was 7th on the leaderboard at the time, early June. And I kind of just got that playstyle by just playing a whole ton of ranked ones and realizing like I have very good mechanics, so I might as well use them. Since if you can, if you can flip reset on your opponent, and at the time nobody knew how to defend flip resets, and they're still very difficult to defend. It's like why not? It's pretty much a guaranteed goal. So the more I did it, the better I got at it, and it just kind of fed into each other.
Did you think that was going to be the meta, or did you think that's where the meta was headed, or at the time were you thinking, okay, this is probably just something that I can do for a little bit before it gets figured out, and then it'll go back to dribbling and flicks and stuff like that? What was your theory there?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I thought that much about it at the time. I just know there was a few other players that played a semi-similar kind of play style, like Chronic. Chronic at the time, I think, played pretty similar to me. A lot of the times we'd actually just like queue into each other in ones, and we'd literally just have the freestyle 1v1 instead of actually playing the game. So he definitely played a pretty similar play style. But I don't know if I ever really thought that much about like whether or not it'd be that meta. I kind of just figured like it's working, and I don't know if there is a way to kind of prevent it. So I'm just gonna keep on doing it until it doesn't work.
Fair.
I would still, to this day, though, even if fans of Comm and like freestyle 1v1, if you want to dip your toes in competitive 1v1, just go watch that Comm versus Lion Blade series, because even to this day, some of those goals are top tier, and they would still be like getting ridiculous reactions out of casters, especially in RLCS. I mean, these days, like the stuff that happens at 1v1 is just insane. Like every single goal from both players will just be a clip. It's really gone towards that. But yeah, they actually hold up. They're ridiculous. I remember I watched your stream a few times after. I was like, this is actually ridiculous. Every single game you're just doing this over and over. It looks like you're in unranked. You were just clipping on opponents every single goal. And I didn't even know what I was looking at. But yeah, great to see that's where the meta's headed towards. I think you definitely helped that. You help people realize that is more than viable for 1v1. But talking about 3v3, how did you get into competitive threes? Where was your start there? You said you're in 6-mans, right?
Right. I started playing six mans at the end of 2018. And like I said, I got kind of stuck in rank A. I was there for 6 months, like top. I was nearly rank X many times. Just kind of like at the time was the main way to be able to break through. And eventually, towards the back end of 2019 in August was when, with Bullsend, myself, Dino, and Stokely, ended up winning the WGN online qualifier through the lower bracket, and that's like what really sprung me like up into like the 3v3 scene. Kind of made more of a name there because then we made WGN in Toronto, ended up winning that LAN against a whole ton of really good bubble teams at the time, which we then rode that into RLRS, and that's where I kind of middled around for 2 seasons or so until now.
Yeah, those RLCS seasons, they were actually I was keeping an eye on you and like pretty much anyone who'd made a splash in the one scene. I was like, oh, that's another, because at that time, around about the time you qualified for RLRS, quite a lot of 1v1 players started to appear in RLRS on different teams. I was like, hold on a second, this team's got a 1v1 player, that team's got a 1v1 player, and this team and that team and this team. So I was like trying to keep an eye on them all, see how everybody's doing. So I saw your results were doing pretty good. I think you were just a couple of weeks away from the end of both seasons. You're right there in the playoff contention, and then the last like 2 matches in both the RLRS seasons you lost, and they were like the losses against teams at the who are around about your rank in the table. So it's like you're not only you guys didn't just hinder yourselves from climbing, but you're actually boosting them over the top of you. What went on there? Because it looked like you guys had good starts to both seasons, and then it fell apart. Bullsend with Stokely and Dino, and then Monkey Business with Stokely and Aeon, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was definitely really unfortunate. First one with Bullsend, we started off I think 4-1 or 3. I think 3-1. I'm trying to think how many teams. No, there was 10 teams at the time in RLRS. Yeah, we started off 4-1 I think that season. Then we finished 5-4. So we went from like first down to 6th, I think, which is really unfortunate. That was, I mean, a lot of it just came down to I think our play style. We kind of had like an inconsistent kind of play style. We were very aggressive, and I think we gave up a lot of matches that we definitely shouldn't have if we had just played probably a bit more safe. It was kind of a case of us being inconsistent. Monkey Business. Next season, I don't remember our exact record because I think we didn't start off too great. I can't remember exactly. I think we might have finished 4-5 or 5-4, and we ended up getting
it was 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah. And we ended up getting 8th, so we would have been relegated. Well, I guess we were technically, but like next season RLCS came around, they changed the format. But
got him.
That yeah.
Nice try.
That one was just kind of like we had a rough start, and then kind of got more into our groove as the season went on, and then eventually I think it kind of just got out of hand as well. Maybe we kind of slipped back into how we had been playing, but I think we definitely both seasons had very good potential and just kind of crumbled.
So like, was it all mental, or was it format related? I know you said that if it was all best of one, that would be your preferred format. Were you guys just the best of one team?
God, this was so long ago. I'm trying to think back. Like Bullsend was, God, a year and a half maybe. It's been so long. Or I guess closer. Yeah, about a year and a half. I think it was probably something like that. But a lot of it was just kind of like mental, I guess, like you said, kind of like internal stuff. Kind of like clashes of, I guess, like egos would be the simplest way to explain it, and kind of was very difficult to play like that. You're not really, it wasn't like as much like a team kind of mentality, a team kind of environment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Best of one warrior. Sorry, best of one warriors would be a really good team name, by the way, for like a bubble team.
That would be.
It actually would. True.
Sorry. Go ahead, Johnny. Continue with your line of thinking that I've completely interrupted.
That's all good, man. All good. I was just gonna ask, do you have any? What are your like best memories of playing in those kind of teams and playing in RLRS? Because like that's, like you said, year and a half ago now, but it probably feels a lot longer ago because of RLCS X being so jammed full of 3v3. There's been like more 3v3 since RLCS X started than before in the previous 9 seasons. So what are your memories from playing RLRS and trying to make a name for yourself?
Honestly, like my favorite memory from that like kind of era was definitely winning WGN before RLRS, because like that was my first like major LAN event that I played at, and that was super fun going hanging out with a bunch of guys that I'd known for a while, but never actually met before, and then playing there and actually winning it was definitely really enjoyable.
Hmm. And
In
the
RS,
LANs, you say? What is this LAN that you speak of? I don't remember this
yeah,
personally.
decades ago.
Yeah.
RS was um RS, like my honestly like favorite part about the whole RS thing was definitely like branding or rebranding the monkey business, hanging out with Sadie and all of them, Sadie, Lando, Paco, hanging out with all of them a lot, and just kind of like a cool environment. Um, like whether it was like during scrims, we'd be having a good time, or whether it be just like playing other games with them. It's just like a bunch of cool guys there. I think it was definitely really fun going to the monkey business brand. Uh, that's something I definitely really miss. I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was really enjoyable.
I like it. I think it's a good team name. I think is it still archived? Is anybody playing as Monkey Business? I almost
Not
said
as far
Monkey
as I
Man.
know.
No, nobody's taking it up. Who's got
I mean,
the
well,
copyright on that?
technically, I mean, we were like kind of playing as Monkey Business, me and Lando in the Winter Bash. We all had the Monkey Business profile
Oh,
pics on.
oh yeah, that's why you did that. See, I thought it was
Yeah,
just because of you, but I didn't realize Lando was
yeah.
also.
Lando was our coach.
I didn't realize Lando was the Monkey Business coach. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I saw you guys with the Monkey Business. And I was like, wow, look at these guys. They're the proper team over here. Unlike unlike me, Andy, and Forky.
Yeah.
But like, what happened? Did you try a lot of teams before RLCS X, or did you have plans? You ended up with Pirates and Spyder for the whole fall split, right?
Mhm. Right.
How did that come about? Was this like something you'd wanted to team you'd wanted to play with for a while, or what was going on there?
That was honestly kind of like a last minute team. I had a few teams that I tried out with last minute. I wasn't taking like at the time I wasn't taking the game like as seriously. I was kind of more focusing on school and whatnot. So I tried out with probably like 3 to 4 teams in the last like 4 to 5 days maybe,
Oh, wow.
and just kind of ended up sticking up with them because I like the guys. They're cool guys, and played pretty decently together.
Yeah, you had better results every time. I mean, you qualified for all three regionals. First regional, you went 0-3 in the first stage. Next one, you went 1-3. Next one, you went 2-3. So if they'd brought back another, um, what do you call it, Swiss format, you guys are in a
Well,
stage two, like
we did
according to your
actually make
friend.
stage two,
Wait,
and
was that
in the
2-3
last
in
one,
stage two?
it was 2-3 in stage two.
Actually, no, I remember this because I think I may have predicted you guys to make the third. I think I did. I predicted you
Because
guys to
we
make third
beat we
stage.
beat Sonics to
I
make
got
it
it wrong.
in the first round. We beat Sonics.
Yeah, that was my bad. I cast a curse to you. Sorry. I should never have done this because it was one of those like pre-shows where one of the segments was who's your underdog pick, and I think you guys were my underdog pick to make it into day 3, and then you missed out by one series. So yeah, that is on me. I should just not ever do that to players that I actually want to see do well. So, like, were you gonna run that back and give it another split? Because it seems like it was going in a good direction with Pirates and Spyder. Or when the V1 offer came in, what happened there? I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how did you get picked up? The Torment and Gimmick, two of the legends of the NA1 scene.
So actually, before we actually split before, because we had pretty decent results, but honestly, I started getting my hours up. I started playing more, and I felt like I could probably do better. I could probably get better results. And then it was probably like a week, maybe half a week, honestly, before roster lock came through for
Mm.
winter, and I just randomly got added by Fireburner on Steam. So I accepted the friend request. I'm like, yo, what's up? And then I went and fell asleep because at the time my sleep schedule was sleeping from like 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Um,
Healthy
and
gamer
I
stuff.
What? I mean,
Healthy
yeah,
gamer stuff right there.
that
Wow.
makes me feel a lot better about the bad sleep schedules I've had. What on earth is going on there? That's
over the summer, over the summer from COVID. like that like 8-month, 6-month span, I think I went through every single sleep schedule you can imagine.
Trying them all. You're like, let me just test them all out, see which one's best. Oh yeah, we'll
I
stick with the 2
genuinely
p.m.
went through
time.
every single one.
That's crazy.
Like I'd go to bed at like 5 p.m., wake up at 4 a.m., or I'd go to bed at
Yeah, I mean that's a kind of a night shift sort of
yeah.
thing. Like I've done that many times because sometimes I'm casting till like 3 or 4 anyway. So you're like, oh well, I guess I'm up till 5, but like I could never make an excuse for staying up until 2 p.m. and then sleeping till 10. There's never any work that you need to be doing in the morning in Europe, at least. I know that the Australians have to do that though. Like they have to get up at ridiculous hours and sleep during the day. But yeah, you got no excuse there, mate. That's just something else.
None. Yeah, no, I pretty much I just got added by him, then I went and fell asleep, and then I woke up, and it was like 8 hours after he messaged me. I woke up, and he's like, "Yo, do you want to try scrimming?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure." I hope I didn't miss out by responding too late.
He's like, "Hey, do you want to try out for the team? You got 5 hours."
Yeah.
Sleeping on the offer. Wow, thank goodness you didn't miss that.
Yeah.
Like,
So then
did it just go well? Were they like trying out a bunch of players? Were you like on the short list, or were they
there were
just like,
probably
yeah, this is our guy?
I think there were like 4 to 5 players they were trying out, and I think they asked me just to scrim once, and I think it went really well the first time we scrimmed. So they asked me to scrim again, and they asked me to scrim again after that went well. And we basically did that like 4 times, and eventually they just narrowed it down to just me.
That's nice. Yeah, I was excited because I've always rated you as a player. After seeing your ridiculous 1v1 prowess, always. I mean, everybody knows I'm always a believer in the 1v1 players transitioning into threes. So it's been great. RLCS X for this reason has been my favorite season. For amongst other reasons, have been my favorite seasons because this is like the year of the ones mains.
Yeah,
all these ones mains are coming out and crushing everybody. So I'm you're not a ones main, but we
yeah. Does it annoy you?
To trigger threes players, we're going to call you a ones main just to annoy as many 3v3 purists as possible. But we all know it's not really.
Yeah, what's your relation to ones though? Would you say you're a ones main? Is ones your side piece? What choose your words wisely though.
It honestly actually did used to annoy me whenever I'd get called like a ones main, because I'd been playing threes for like 6 months, a year, or something like that, at a relatively high level, and then I'd go and just like, oh yeah, here's Comm, he's a ones main, saw him on Johnnyboi stream. I'm like, what? I've been around for a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
man.
I was always like, I'd rather be known as a threes player who happens to be good at ones than a ones player who just showed up in threes or something. But as of late, I've kind of like come more to terms to it. I've kind of like accepted it that anytime I play on any stream, all the casters are going to call me like a ones main, or they're going to bring up like my ones past or something like that. It's going to be like, yeah, he's really good control.
Well, just to be completely honest with you, it's not that easy coming up with like storylines for players when you're a caster. Unless we've done like a podcast with somebody, like, players aren't on record somewhere saying a bunch of stuff about their lives, like anywhere. True. What I mean? So it's like you really have very little. And the Rocket League scene is pretty young as well. So it's like, you just don't know that much about people. And also like, when you're super young, it's like, there's not that many things that define your life in total yet, so yeah, hopefully, I mean, I think some, like, for a while, it's maybe not as bad as it used to be, but obviously for a long time, people like threes players would be like, oh, good, ones mains will never like turn to a threes player or whatever. So I'm sure that also was probably, it's annoying to be labeled that, because then the people you want to team with are like thinking of you in a certain way and all that. But hopefully, I think we're getting pretty close to, well, I mean, maybe we're there, but we could go even further to like being a ones main is like a badge, a bit of a badge of honor, as long as you're also still having the success you want on a professional level in the threes game, like being a ones main or being considered like a ones player. I mean, you're one of the players that, like, in NA, when you get the ball and you get control in 3v3, like, literally, like, yeah, they say it, the casters will say it, and then you'll do something ones related, like you'll drop the ball and you'll bump the goalie. Things that like most of the threes players don't think of immediately. So, as much as you're annoyed by it, I think it's kind of appropriate in a way, and like does describe your play pretty well sometimes. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I like I said, it doesn't bother me as much anymore. But I think there definitely was that stigma for a while, to where it's like, this guy's a ones main, he's not going to be able to do anything. Why would we ever pick him up? And I think it's more so become now, like, as like ones players have started performing better in the 3v3 scene. I think it's more seen as like definitely more of a positive thing now by a lot of top teams, where it's like, this guy plays ones, like he especially as like the meta has transitioned more into like a controlled style of play. I think there's definitely like a much bigger appreciation of people having played ones.
Yeah. What do you think about like it's like is there something to like being like a ones player and being in the South? What do you think of like players like Mile?
Where's Mile from? Is he Florida or no?
Louisiana. New Orleans.
Oh, I had no idea. I don't know if there's anything about that.
See, what would you say about Mile if you're watching one of his games? Oh, he's got a background in ones because I don't even know where the hell he's from. This proves my point. You don't know anything. You don't know anything about the players.
It pays off a ridiculous amount as well. Like there, in 3v3 especially, it's very hard to predict a lot of things that are going to happen because the game is so unpredictable. A caster will say, "Wow, this team is defending so well." Bam! Immediately they get scored on. How many times has this happened? And it's not even the caster's fault. Like, they will be defending great up until that point, then one tiny little mistake, and they get scored on straight away. Caster looks like an idiot. But like, one of the safer things you can say is like, yes, this guy has got a 1v1 background, and then at some point during the game, he's going to dribble and flick the ball over someone, and then all the viewers are going to be like, "Whoa, he does have a ones background." Brilliant. It's like a big payoff, so they get to be like, "Oh my goodness, this is cool." Like, he just dribbled someone, he just flicked that guy. Oh, he demoed someone, he definitely plays ones. Look at him. Or he's like going for a flip reset off the wall. If they're like, a current ones fan, they'll know that this is more common in ones these days. So it pays off a lot, actually, when you're casting. At least more often than saying, "Wow, this team's got great accuracy," and then they hit the post in an open net. It's unreal. Like, the amount of times. Actually, I saw a great one from Cole this weekend in the grand final of BDS versus Giants. He said, he said something like, "Yeah, and this BDS defense, they're doing so well. I just really can't see them getting scored on anytime soon." And no joke, the next half second, the ball went in their net. It's just like, I can't see them getting scored on anytime soon. Goal! It's like, wow. How are you supposed to see that coming? It's just ridiculous. So yeah, that's why you're getting called ones mains. But I want to know more about the whole like teams respecting ones mains a bit more now. My theory on it, Com, is that before it was all propaganda. There were a bunch of 3v3 RLCS players who are terrible at ones, and they're hanging on to their pro careers, which are already past their sell-by date.
No,
of course not. No names. But, they're saying, nah, ones players don't know how to rotate. They don't know how to control their boost management. They cut off their teammates. Doesn't work in a threes environment. That kind of mechanical ability, it's a liability. It's it's a problem. So they're trying to like put down on all these like up and coming players to try and prolong their careers. So nobody actually figures out, hold on a second, if we just play with these ridiculously mechanically skilled players for any kind of noticeable length of time, they're easily gonna steal the spots, which has happened in RLCS X, especially in Europe. Like, the complete change of the guard that's happened in Europe is just ridiculous, with all these new teams coming out of nowhere. Not all ones mains, a few, but definitely like all new, better mechanical teams who have just taken all the top spots. American teams have done a better job hanging on there, and your teammates now, Gimmick and Torment, they're an example of that previous generation who are still able to compete. What is it like playing with Gimmick and Torment at this level? Is this like your dream to always, or has it always been your dream in the come up to play with a team like this?
I think definitely, yeah. This is like, it feels really good because I am playing with like two very established players. They're very experienced. They know what they're doing.
World champs. I mean, there's not many of those around, to be honest. Yeah. So those are in limited supply, especially the ones that can still play.
Yeah. No, it's definitely very enjoyable being teamed with them because, like I said, a ton of experience, and then also when it comes to like playstyle stuff like that, I feel like not only am I helping the team's play style, like I hear it a lot, like on our broadcast, like Lawler will talk about it, about how I'm kind of bringing like the more solo play aspect. I'm kind of bringing the team in a direction to where we have more offensive opportunities and chances, and
As a one's main,
different,
yeah.
yeah, as a one's main, and different what's the word I'm looking for, options. There's different options now that we have on offense. Cloud9 obviously was established as like a very good passing team, so now I think I've brought V1 into like a better direction like that. But also I think I'm getting better at what they were better at. I think I'm better when it comes to passing plays. I'm better at the kind of more established 3v3 play style that's been around for ever since the beginning of the game. So that's been very enjoyable because not only do I get to help the team improve, but I also feel myself improving.
What's it like working with Fireburner as well, the coach?
I love Fire. He's hilarious. It's been really fun, and also he is very analytical. He's very helpful whenever we're in series against teams, and they change up how they're playing. In between games, he's very helpful at saying like what we need to do more of, what we need to do less of. Um, and he kind of preps us like before the match, lets us know what we need to do against certain teams, and almost always like what he says comes to fruition, and we end up performing way better because of it.
So they're all other Rocket League teams. If your coach doesn't tell you what to do and it actually turns out right, then maybe you need to get yourselves a Fireburner, because that sounds like a pretty good deal. If he's telling you what's going to happen and it actually happens every time, that's what I've been waiting to hear for many years about Rocket League coaching. Because originally I think it was mostly just player management, but now that very successful pro players are retiring and becoming coaches, it's really cool to hear this more and more. This kind of take coming out more often. The coach is very much like a established part of the team with a huge impact, not just someone who's making sure that everybody shows up on time, which is all I ever did when I was managing Flipside back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Zero coaching. I still get people still say that I coach Flipside though, even for some reason they've never claimed this. Chat, I've got a lot of comments about this actually. It helps when a coach has played. I would agree. Yes. How would you describe the differences, Com, between playing Rocket League at a high level in ranked and playing in competition? Because a lot of the best coaches will be pros. I'm sure there's very good coaches who are not pros though as well, who have to get experience and get their expertise from other avenues. But what are you missing out on if you never competed in RLCS, for example, and you've been a high level player, never had that very highest level of competition?
I think one of the biggest things is if you haven't competed at the highest level, I don't think you can understand what it's like to play at the highest level. You can't put yourself in your player's shoes. So you can't you can explain things, but you might not be able to explain it in a certain way that's the easiest to understand. You might not entirely understand like why the team needs to play a certain way the certain way, or like the like whenever you're competing, it's obviously way different than playing in ranked. There's a whole lot more pressure. It's harder to think straight. There's a whole lot less that you can do as a player to kind of like take yourself out of the game. You can't think about it in like a third person point of view. So I think it's definitely way better to have a coach that can understand, like he can put it into simple terms. He can put it in a way like as a former player, he knows like how it is to compete. He knows that it's going to be kind of hard for you to kind of think straight. So he just kind of put it in simple terms, says simple things, and just kind of um, nudges you in the right direction whenever it comes to things like that.
Is there anything else with playing for V1 that's new to you, and that you're just trying to use to its fullest potential? Is this the first time you've had a ex-pro player coach?
Yeah. The only other coach
Yeah.
I'd ever had was McLando, so I think having Fire has definitely helped a ton. Because like I said, he just he explains things well, and he doesn't like overload you. He just kind of like he says the absolute necessities. He tells us what we need to do, and tells us like the core things that we have to do in order to play against certain teams and whatnot.
What about RLCS X format? relative compared to the start of the season. It's been going for a while now. You've had a little bit of a break, I guess, over the holiday season. Now the grind is on, and it's probably not going to stop all the way until the World Championship. How is it going? How are you coping? Is it fire still there? Well, obviously Fireburner, the coach, is still there, but is the fire still there to compete and to stay at your absolute best form and keep on improving all the way until that finish line?
Yeah, absolutely. More than ever. I'm more motivated than I've been in a very long time because I see potential in both myself and the team. Like we're so close to being at the very top, and it just makes me want it all that more. Like we all the game 5s, all the game 7s, as much as I joked around about, absolutely like hating them because they take so long, but it feels like we're right there. Like we're almost breaking through, and I feel really motivated because I feel like any one of these days, any one of these events, we can show up and definitely prove ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. I think you guys are there for sure. Not just like, sometimes I'll see the results for, a team will on paper have what looks to be the the ability to compete. But then you watch them play and you think, I don't know, actually, like, how is this team winning series? How are they able to keep putting up these results? And it just doesn't look like they're going to be able to keep doing that. But I think you guys are one of the teams who definitely have got, they've got the results, promising results. And when I watch these series, I'm like, okay, this is competitive. This isn't a case of one of the top teams just not really showing up. Like, this is definitely a very high level series here. I'm definitely rooting for you guys. Because it was a shame seeing Gimmick and Torment fall from the very heights of North American competition as far as they did. Those are they're still both really, really good at the game. Been watching your career with great interest. So to see the two paths collide is just really cool. It's super cool to see.
Johnny, is it fair to say that people that played a lot of show matches on your channel feel like your children?
I wouldn't go that far. But yes,
Maybe like nephews.
absolutely, my children. Yes. No, it's I won't lie. I mean, I've been 100% clear with this. I've watched the threes results of people who have played one's show matches or done well in other one's tournaments, even outside of my channel, and to see the evidence, because I can say it as much as I want. I can tell people as many times as I want that there's absolutely no reason why one's players can't be good at threes. But actually seeing the proof is definitely very satisfying. Definitely very satisfying. After
One of
all these years.
one of the most I guess what's the word I'm looking for? One of the most surreal things about it, I think, is I actually like watching like your old like 1v1 show matches, Johnny, was like one of the main reasons I actually like got into the game. I started
Really?
I used to watch back in like 2016, back
Oh,
around like when I
wow.
first started playing on console, and I remember like I used to watch like a whole ton of like 1v1 show matches and stuff like on car like along car rides or something like that, and I just like sit there on
Who
my
are the
phone for
players that
hours.
you would watch? Who are the players back then that you'd be like, oh, it's this guy. I need to watch that match and see how
Definitely
he's doing.
Scrub. I was a huge Scrub fan. Um,
Scrub killer.
oh yeah, I used to watch every single show match that was put out with Scrub. Um, Obviously like the big names, Cucks, Marky back then.
Mm,
Had to watch every single one of those show matches, and then like even like later on a bit more like Fairy Peak as well. Early Fairy Peak was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I used to watch all of those, and I that was like one of my main motivations was to get better at ones and to get better at the game too. It was like one of the main reasons I ever got
man,
into the game.
that's so crazy. That's so crazy. I mean, you'd never think this, because when I'm making these show matches back then, it's not even a thought in my mind that there might be a viewer watching who's like, "Oh yeah, this looks kind of cool. I think I'm going to do that." It's going to get good enough at the game that I can also, compete at the very highest level. But yeah, there's been so many like insanely fast rises through the Rocket League ranks by players these days. How do you think that's going to continue, Com? Do you reckon there's viewers watching now, maybe in 2 years they're just going to be the next insane pro? Like, what is possible with how really high the skill ceiling is getting these days?
I mean, I it doesn't sound like a question I should say yes to, but it's like you wouldn't have said yes to that question, back then. You wouldn't have said it 4 years ago. You wouldn't have said yes to that question, I don't think. So I feel like
Yeah.
it sounds kind of absurd now, but I feel like a few years from now, it'll almost certainly be true. I think it'll probably be that statement will be vindicated. I think there definitely will be people that come up. As I get old, I hit my 20s and no longer become a viable esports player.
Oh no, you're so old. You're so old. What are you gonna do after that? Jeez,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
pretty much game over.
Boomer.
At that point,
Yeah.
GG.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
It's 3
I think
years,
the
right?
I think the time from I kind of wonder if the time from 0 to pro is going to continue to shrink. Like, are there a lot of like new pro level players or bubble players that are like have gotten there like insanely fast? Do any come to mind that have like skyrocketed up really fast?
There's only like 2 young players I can think of off the top of my head would be like Daniel or Aqua. Those would be like the 2 that I come up with, but I don't know like what their hours are like. I know they put in like 130 hours every 2 weeks, but I don't know like their total hours. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's we chatted to Forky and he said, yeah, he's just like trying to enjoy Rocket League competitive as much as possible before Daniel turns 15 and ruins it for everybody. But there's always going to be players like this. Everybody's like, oh no, he's almost 15. Here he comes. About to come and just destroy everybody.
I mean, that was First Killer.
Yeah, First Killer. Didn't Rettles say that he's trying to make they're just doing the same thing, like trying to make the most of this season while First Killer's still in a bad team? Or am I making that up? I don't know what the exact phrasing was. I feel like that's something he said.
I've seen someone say something like that. I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it was Rettles or who it was, but they're like,
Has to be
just trying to like I think it was a team in RS, so it could have been Peeps at the time. So like we're trying to make it into RLCS before First Killer gets into RS. Might have been something like that.
Yeah. Just get the dub before he comes and takes it from you. I mean, who do you think, if you had to make a dream team, first of all, not including yourself, what would it be? If you wanted to make the team that would just destroy everybody, and it can't be an existing team. You're only allowed to pick one player from any team. You can't pick 2 players from the same team. Who would it be? North America.
I don't know. That's a hard question because I don't know if I'd pick like established players because I mean you could just pick Turbo, or if I'd pick like up and comers or something. I honestly don't have that.
What if Psyonix came to you and they said, "Come, we're doing an NA versus EU, Rocket League Island, 1 series, 1 best of 7 to decide who the better region is, and you have to pick the team, and you already know if they don't win, then EU are never ever going to let you forget this. So you have to pick the best team possible. Those are the stakes. It's on LAN against the best EU team picked by someone. That's like what you're choosing for."
I feel like a combination of players that's been really good recently, like the G2 combination is kind of like 2 very good mechanical players and kind of like a solid third. So it'd have to be something maybe like Sypical, Justin, Turbo, something like that.
Interesting. That would be an interesting team. Typical Justin Turbo. So you're a believer in the 2 mechanical guys and then 1 guy who's a bit more reserved.
Yeah, having played against G2, that is a very difficult playstyle to play against.
Interesting. So you don't think just putting 3 complete mechanical nutcases in one team is the solution to this?
I don't think so, because then I think there would be a team that's like that. I mean, you could maybe make an argument for like NRG being like that, but I mean, I think Garrett and Squishy, while they both have very good mechanics, are a bit more reserved.
I mean, picking Turbo for this like LAN question is probably a good idea. So it's not really.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to question that. And Turbo's mechanics are also like pretty solid these days, anyway. So I don't think it's even a weakness anymore. It's not like a particular like strength of his, but it's definitely not a weak spot anymore. Although it might have been maybe this very start of the season. Not these days. What about EU? Okay, if I have to flip it, who do you watch much EU Rocket League?
Absolutely none.
None.
I don't think I've watched a single EU series this
Okay,
entire
never mind.
entire split.
Never mind. Never mind.
All I
Okay.
know is BDS apparently is really good, and that's all that I know about EU.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know.
They've done.
All you need to know.
They've done pretty well, for sure. What about like ones? How much ones are you playing these days versus like threes?
Almost none. Only ones that I played was I played a little bit of ones in advance of my showmatch versus Sharif, but I probably played like 15 ranked games.
Yeah, SMUG champ. I think you're the first SMUG champion to come on the pod.
It's an honor. Happy to be
After they've won their SMUG match.
They're
I mean,
winning.
they are.
I didn't realize.
We featured
Wow.
previous like people that did become SMUG champions, but I think it's the first having won SMUG champion. Don't you think, Johnny? Because we had everybody else we had before their match, right?
I think you're right, but I didn't even notice that.
Wow.
Before, so that's pretty cool.
Do you feel different now that you've won a SMUG match?
A little bit richer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What was that experience like? Actually, did it feel any different than other Johnnyboi show matches, or is it just like, sup, I'm calm, business as usual, let's do this?
I mean that's pretty much what it was like. I don't know if it felt too different to me because I feel like I had a decent amount of experience before.
Yeah.
So it just kind of I showed up, I played once. That's just like I kept it very simple. I don't like to think too much about the context of things whenever I'm playing. I just like to play.
That's smart. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of like previous one players, like for instance, like K-Dop when he came on. I think like he had forgotten probably what it was like to play on show match pressure of a one's game, and then you're versus Jesse, and you're like, oh god, I could actually never live this down if I lose.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, because didn't you say, Johnny, that like somebody had translated his video and it was like he was a bit like this is like more intense than RLCS right now. Like
he said this in French. Like this is I'm super nervous. Like Get Up doesn't get nervous. He's done RLCS so many seasons now. But this he was like, oh my goodness, 1v1ing Jesse in front of a ton of viewers, like record viewers for him.
54K viewers total, basically.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So yeah, he's like, I have to focus up here, and it's not just him. I think Scrub said, and he's like,
he's Scrub,
than anyone. Scrub, he said his head was going to explode.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't know, my head's going to explode. Oh, I don't know, you guys. You see, I might have to turn off the camera. My head's going to explode.
I think I can only imagine that he's trying to explain what it feels like to have your, heart beating really fast, and therefore blood is flowing really fast. So, it's like pumping. But yeah, a ton of pressure. He said his head was shaking. Just like.
Who do you have like the most like in 1v1s? Who do you have like the biggest rivalries with?
I don't know if there's any like individual I'd say I have like a massive rivalry with. I mean, for like people that I run into like in ranked a lot, or at least I used to. I mean, I guess you could say First Killer, because we had their big show match. I ended up winning. But I don't think there's anybody in particular that I have too much of a rivalry with. I mean, I have a friendly rivalry with like Jbot, but not really like anything outside of that.
And of course, Jbot, your former teammate for maybe your most viewed clip online of all time.
Yeah,
maybe you could tell us a bit about that. Like, when did it become apparent to you that Lachinio had a full-on nervous breakdown while playing you and Jbot in ranked? Who made that video? Did
Jbot made that video?
Oh, really?
Yeah, we actually didn't know. We didn't know that was actually all going on until we watched the VOD after the fact. We were just messing around because I demoed him like 4 times at the beginning, just like incidentally. Like I wasn't even thinking anything. I'm like, this is kind of funny. Maybe we just keep on demoing him and see what happens. And then we looked afterwards, like, oh, he was streaming. I wonder how he reacted.
Yeah.
Jbot wouldn't have made that video.
If you demo someone that much, you have to watch the VOD. You have to watch the VOD. I mean, even if I'm just like playing Rocket League, just chilling out, and I see somebody's got Twitch.tv in their name, and I realize, wait a minute, I've demoed that guy like 5 times. I'm definitely gonna go watch the VOD on that. See, how mad they're getting. It's just probably the most satisfying thing to see reactions on, like mind games, demos. What else is like in that tilting category for you, Comm?
Sorry, I was just thinking. I don't think I've ever laughed as hard as when I went back and watched the VOD for the first time, and I saw my final demo on him at the very end, and then oh my god.
Were you and Jbot queuing together? Were you in comms?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm pretty certain we were in comms. Yeah. Well, a lot of the time, like we'll go in comms. We aren't like commenting about the game, but we just like kind of chill and talk while we play.
It's only got
Sorry,
It's only got 60K views. That is super surprising to me.
It's on Twitter though, right?
Here, chat. If you haven't seen it,
it's on
there's
Twitter.
the video. Yeah, I don't know.
Twitter videos, like after their initial like 1 day of being on the timeline, they never get like found ever again. So yeah,
that's why I retweet it like every 6 months.
Yeah, the fact it's got 60K is actually a lot for Twitter. That's a big view count.
I can't do nothing.
It's a great video.
He just shoots it.
Oh yeah, that was a funny goal actually. Because Lachinio thought that you were gonna
like take a touch
or something.
Yeah.
He thought you were gonna take a touch. You just shoot the ball, and then he's just like completely outraged.
It was hilarious.
Man,
it's iconic.
But that's super annoying. Like obviously, when you've made a name for yourself in Rocket League, and you're just getting completely destroyed by these people, you're like, who on earth are these guys? If they keep demoing me and they're destroying us, like you can't even say, wow, they're so dumb going for these demos. Look at us beating these demo noobs, because you're also losing. So it's definitely like the worst thing that can happen.
That was so long ago too. That was like 2 years ago now, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you tweeted it on the 2-year anniversary, right?
I did. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Rocket League has changed for you since then, I'm guessing.
A little bit, yeah. I no longer go by Communism.
Well, that amongst other things, I'm guessing as well.
Just a tad bit.
My skin is fuming, dude.
My skin is fuming, dude. That's such a great comment.
Who's he playing with in the clip?
He wasn't queued with him, but it was Jay Vogel, I think. I don't know if Jay Vogel plays the game anymore.
Okay.
But he was a pretty good player at the time.
Well, somebody's in comms with him, telling him to calm down. Like, just chill.
Yeah, he's in comms with someone, but it's not who he was playing with.
Oh, okay,
no,
I see.
He's called a threat.
He's just like, hey, man.
Hey, man,
I appreciate you called me because you're melting down right now, but I just need you to take a breath. It's so
funny because whenever I get that final demo at the end, you can hear whoever it is he's in comms with. Like you hear he slams his headset down and he runs away, and then like 3 to 4 seconds later, the guy starts laughing. Like really, he's like trying to hide it, but
yeah, this is brilliant.
It's like you like the delay catches up with him. Like on the stream, the delay finally gets away. You just hear him start laughing.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the best, just random ranked videos I've ever seen for sure.
It's up there. The last demo is amazing when you just get him in the air. It's
my two favorites from that are me getting that last demo, and then also Jbot like spawn kills him like 3 times at some point, like halfway through the video.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Actually, yeah, the spawn kills, that's something we're starting to see. AJ did that to Kinsey a couple times in their SMUG match last weekend. I wonder if that's something
I think it's so funny. I think spawn killing people is so funny.
It's amazing. It
gratifying.
Really
yeah.
Because it's they'll just like take their hands off their controller while they're dead, and they'll like put it back on, and then you just instantly demo them, and it's like, well, I guess I don't get to play.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Absolute class.
All right, Johnny. I think we're ready for the Widechamp round. What do you think?
I think we are. Yes, I think so.
And if you're not familiar with that term, Supersonic Legend is also sometimes lovingly referred to as Widechamp because of how wide
its width.
Yeah, how wide the logo is. So, Widechamp round is simple. We ask you a bunch of questions, you answer them, and when I describe it like that, it really just sounds like the rest of the podcast, to be honest.
These are like quick fire.
Yeah, like
first thing that comes to your head.
Widechamp, wow. Let's start off with your favorites. What's your favorite car that you don't main?
Dominus, I guess, because I play both Octane and Fennec pretty regularly. I'll switch between them.
Okay, nice. What's your favorite decal?
A lot of the time I like running no decal, but one of my favorites is definitely Shisa. I used to use that back in the old 1v1 show matches, and I still use it now pretty regularly.
It's got staying power then. Staying power, that's good. Favorite boost that's not alpha boost?
That's the only boost I use.
Exactly.
I guess standard.
Standard? What color?
Standard, yeah.
What color? Like standard, like orange?
Yep. I use standard, but I have box mod on to show alpha boost, and I have for probably 2 years.
Okay. Favorite wheels?
I use box mod for goldstones a lot of the time. Either goldstones or black DSCs. This will probably be up there, or pink tunicos. Those are probably my top 3.
Okay, so 3 favorites.
Yes.
Great. What's a hot take that you have that most other pros might not agree with about Rocket League?
Or an opinion. An unpopular opinion that you have.
I don't know. Can I skip?
Yeah, we can go back to that one.
Sure.
I'll try to think it over.
So that's a pause. We'll pause on that one.
Okay.
Johnny, you can take over for this one.
Okay. Right. So who are your top 5 most mechanical players, not including yourself?
Probably Justin, Typical, those 2 definitely. Chicago, Mist has really good mechanics. And then
just doesn't watch EU at all.
Yeah,
he's just all
Astral. There you go, Astral. There you go. He's got pretty good mechanics. I've seen it.
Astral.
Oh man, it's so funny. Didn't even cross your mind.
It didn't at all. No, I was just running through NA teams.
Come on, bro. I'm over here in Europe trying to like tell everybody Americans aren't like what you think we are, okay? And you're just reaffirming the stereotype that we don't know about anything outside our borders. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's all good.
Who would that 5th American been if, or not American, North American player been if it had been all NA?
It could be a lot of people. Maybe just like Squishy. Squishy has good mechanics.
That's top 5 mechanics. Okay, how about the top 5 least mechanical pros?
Rizzo, I guess. I guess Turbo. Maybe Memory. I don't think Memory plays too mechanically. Man, I was gonna say Garrett, but Garrett has good mechanics. He just plays really solidly a lot of the time.
Way.
And
man,
this is hard. I mean, I guess maybe like Reddles. Reddles has decent mechanics, but he doesn't like play very mechanically. And then 5th one, maybe just Torment. Torment's got good mechanics, but again, like it's a lot of most of the pros I'd say have mechanics. It's just like whether or not they use them. Like Torment can do pretty like insane mechanical stuff, but a lot of the time they just don't use it. They think there's more alternative ways, better things for them to do.
Mm-hmm. I know Fairy Peak is another player like this, although you probably don't know who he is because he's in Europe. So
Heard of him.
yeah, Fairy Peak. He was always like one of those guys who just never really went for anything mechanical. He would just take the ball and put it in the goal. He's like, why make this complicated? It's really quite simple. I just take the ball and score. It's not that hard. So you would just do that over and over again. And then I saw some comment on Reddit. It's like, how are these terrible mechanical players like Fairy Peak still at RLCS? I was like, is this guy crazy? Like, his mechanics are insane. He's so fast.
I actually completely forgot about EU again, so I guess I'll say K-Up too.
K-Up as well. He doesn't throw K-Up
air.
under the bus.
I swear he can't air roll. Like whenever I watch him. Like I watch him, and the guy like can't turn in the air. I don't know what it is. He can hit the ball really hard, that's for sure. But it's just like it doesn't look like he can air roll.
There you go, guys. You don't need to air roll to be a multiple-time world champion and the highest earner in Rocket League history. Air roll, unnecessary.
And printing money on YouTube and printing money in French Twitch.
He has so many viewers on Twitch. It's actually crazy.
It's really cool.
He had
I love that.
17K when he played in SMUG.
It's insane.
I love that. SkateOps works so hard. He's been grinding content, grinding the Twitch stream for many years. He definitely deserves that because especially when he's been the best for so long as well. He's been the best or in the conversation for the best, been on the best teams, and he would stream and not really get that many viewers because the French community took a while to really take off in Rocket League. Now it's taking off big time. Yeah, super deserved in my opinion.
Okay. What's next? Oh yeah, so now we're to the meat and potatoes of the Widechamp round, the team demo ranked. So basically the way that this works is we'll say a team name, you choose one player to team with, it's a big commitment, one player to demo, get rid of them, one player to play ranked with, just, for fun. Very low commitment stuff, okay? Let's start off with SSG, Spacestation Gaming.
Team with typical, demo Arsenal, ranked with Rebels.
Oh, interesting. Why demo Arsenal?
Because he's the odd one out there. I picked the other two first, and it's like, well, I guess Arsenal gets demoed.
All right.
See, you don't have beef with Rattles. I know some people are probably looking at his tweet to Monkey Moon and thinking, "Whoa, Rattles and Com must hate each other," then not realize
Actually, when Com read that tweet, that was the first time he found out that EU RLCS or EU Rocket League existed, dude.
Yeah, true.
He's like, I actually didn't know who Monkey Moon was.
Yeah. He's like, Team BDS? What?
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I'm chill with Rattles. He's a cool guy.
That's cool. We're chill with Riddles too. He hasn't made fun of us yet. He makes fun of us though. It's over. It's over. What about NRG?
That one's a hard one because I don't know who I'd pick to team with. I guess ranked with Garrett because I don't think the other two play ranked. And then team with Squishy or Justin. I guess I'd team. Man, that's hard. Team with Squishy maybe because I feel like I probably play. He plays. Maybe. God, that's hard. Yeah. Team with Squishy, demo Justin. I don't know.
And why did you choose to team with Squishy in the end?
I don't know. It's a hard one.
It just happened. I swear.
Yeah. Kind of picked one of the two.
Did you just flip a coin in your head?
It's a hard one. Yeah.
Oh man, do you have that? You've got a coin flip part of your brain. That would be so useful, actually.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how we can't do that.
I know you can't.
We should be able to run a simulation, random number generator in our head. Why can't we do that?
1 and 2, it's two option. Great.
Go ahead, Johnny. I'm taking a drink.
Actually, you do the next one because I might have to run to my door.
Classic.
In a moment.
Did you get delivery?
I ordered food and it said estimate time 30 minutes. I ordered it 5 minutes ago and it's apparently here. So I don't know what on earth. I don't know what's going on. I might have to run to the door.
That's no problem. That's no problem. This is a classic. I do this too. I'm like, all right, I ordered food. The door's right there. I just keep playing, but now I have it ear free.
I was here already though. I just don't understand.
All right, G2.
Team with Jane Apps, demo Rizzo, and ranked with Chicago.
Okay. So this is the second time on the podcast that you've dissed Rizzo pretty heavily. What do you have against Rizzo?
Well, for this, I don't think I could play with Rizzo. I think his play style is purely adapted to G2. I don't think Rizzo's play style would fit into almost any other team.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, the way he plays is so unique, and it's so just exclusive to the way that G2 plays. I don't think that it would work, especially with me. I don't think so.
What about your play and his play wouldn't work? I'm curious.
I don't. It's really just I don't know if I'd be able to read him because I feel like he just kind of a lot of the times can go for the ball, but he just chooses not to a lot of the times because he just leaves it for Chicago and JNAPS because they're just insane. So a lot of the time his play is just purely based around that, and I feel like I'd probably have a hard time reading it. I feel like if you're not on G2, you can't read Rizzo.
Okay, sounds good. What about Team BDS?
Who's the third? There's Monkey Moon. There's Extra.
I knew it. I knew it. I just threw
Mark
it.
by 8. Mark by 8. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about any of them individually.
Oh, is he just roasting EU again?
I gave him Team BDS, and he's like, he looks up and he goes, "Who's the third?" Oh
Wow.
my god!
Oh wow,
Man,
that's hilarious.
I knew it, dude. I just added it in there. At first, I was gonna say Giants, and then I was like, "No, I'll just go for the number one." And I'm
gonna be honest. I have no idea who's on Giants.
I know.
I don't know. I don't think I have a.
Getting egoed over here. The grand finalists.
I actually have no idea who's on Giants. I just know. I just know BDS.
Kind of. 66%.
You don't know a single Giants player, not one?
I mean, I'm sure I know them.
You don't know the best KBM player in the world? Giants have got the best keyboard mouse player in the world currently. Well, except for
I thought the only two KBM players were like Yukio and Fruity.
Exactly. That's what you thought, but it isn't. It's not the case. Have you ever heard of a player who goes by the name of Steak?
I beat him in ranked once, I think recently.
Yeah, that's Giants Steak right there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Best KBM player in the world. He's not known for his ranked games, so apparently.
Who are the other two players?
Zamwe.
Okay, I've heard his name.
Itachi. Heard of
Okay,
Itachi?
I know Itachi because I used to queue into him in Alpha 54 whenever they queued.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Yeah, those guys play professionally on teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, right. that is classic. I just knew it. I had a feeling. I was like, oh, we throw a couple EU teams in here, it's gonna be like no shot. Oh man, hilarious.
Can you name any Top Blokes players?
Is that Ixo's team?
No, it is not Ixo's team. I'm sorry to say.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Okay, right. You know Vitality, obviously. That's like, come on.
Yeah, of course.
No, you actually have to name them though.
Yeah.
I do. Okay. K-Dop Alpha Fairy. I got those three.
Okay.
All right. Can you name any other EU teams in full?
I was about to say Reciprocity. It's been a minute since I followed you.
Yeah. Can you name all the continents, Cobb? Can you name all?
I can name all the continents. I can. North America, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, or OCE.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Close enough. Yeah. That's good. Wow. Yeah. Good stuff. Well
now,
done.
Can I name a player from every continent? Probably not.
Yeah, that's more difficult. That's the more difficult one. Antarctica in particular. But I actually
wasn't there a really good once player from Africa?
Yes, I think it was Snowy from South Africa. Snowy,
yeah.
I believe.
Oh, and Itachi.
Yeah, Itachi's also from Morocco.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Part of Africa.
That counts.
Part of Africa.
That counnt.
That
is
okay.
hilarious.
All right, so we'll finish with a North American team. Keep you in your comfort zone. What about Team Envy?
I mean, I can't not team with Turbo, right? I think like you have to.
It would be fun. Yeah. I imagine it'd be pretty fun.
I mean, you have to. I don't think you have a choice to not team with Turbo. So I think team with Turbo, ranked with Miz, and I guess Demo Atomic. Although I mean, I think I could put either of those in either position.
Okay, fair. Wow,
that was something.
That was really good.
Team Demo rank round like no other.
Yeah. That was
being thrown to EU.
Absolutely special. That was really special, man.
And just for the record, Johnny, I don't know if you heard, but I did remember their third. I did remember Mark by 8.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
I bet you only remember that though, because there was a meme about him on Reddit today, or was it today?
No, I don't go on Reddit. No.
Okay, good choice actually, not to go on Reddit.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go on Rocket League Reddit or Reddit.
Very, very smart. So many pros are like, wow, I can't read the Rocket League Reddit. It's so, oh my goodness, it's so toxic. I can't handle this. I'm like, what are they doing on there in the first place?
Yeah.
Why would a pro player who's competing in this game read Rocket League Esports subreddit? It's not a good place to go for your mental health.
Oh man.
That
Wow,
was brilliant.
I did not expect that. That was awesome. That was really fun.
Did you think of a hot take?
Oh yeah.
While we're on the topic, I know probably like half of the Rocket League competitive teams disagree with this, but I'm going to say that NA is greater than EU.
How would you know?
Yeah,
How would you even know?
I see what you did there.
That's how I know, is because I don't need to know anybody.
He's assuming that there are as many teams in EU as there are in North America.
I mean, it's the same format, right? So I mean, there should be the same amount of teams.
Yeah, you do have to check though, Yoku. If I told you it was a different format, would you believe me? A special EU format.
No, I don't think I would.
Yeah, it is the same format indeed. Do
Yeah.
you think NA teams are better than EU? Why do you think that? What are the reasons?
Because from what I've heard and from what little I've seen of EU, it seems like there's very little competition for a lot of the spots. Whereas I think in NA, almost any team can win on any day. So I think for a while it's been like this. Like even back at RLCS Season 7, where EU lost to NA every single day, like on every single game for like day 1, day 2, and then it was just like Vitality was the only team that won like at all, and then they won the entire thing. I feel like that's what it's been like for the past few seasons. Is like there'll be like one EU team, and then for every like 4 very good NA teams.
I think Season 7 was a weird one. I don't know how the 4 teams that qualified for Worlds made it to Worlds. They was definitely, like, in my opinion, not the 4 best teams in the region. So NA at Worlds Season 7 was definitely better, no question. Even though Vitality won, NA was better. Season 8, I think like EU was probably better, but somehow Reciprocity lost every game. I don't know what even happened. They went from like beating Vitality to losing every single series, like series against like the teams they should be beating. I think they lost to SSG, right? And they lost to Pittsburgh Knights, if I'm not mistaken. There were 2 teams that they at that time should have been beating because they were still in the come up and Reciprocity were established. They were like doing well at multiple lands, and they just choked Worlds.
Yeah,
that was a weird one. That was a weird season for NA as well. G2 and Cloud9 got relegated, so I don't know what was going on season.
Yeah,
that was very strange.
That was around when I like stopped following like the more like international scene. Like Season 7 was probably when I like stopped watching it. Or like I watched through Season 7, and I actually like was at the Season 7 LAN. But after that, like that's when I kind of stopped following.
Who were you cheering for at Season 7 LAN?
I think I was cheering for G2. So almost.
Almost got there. Almost. Yeah. They had it. It was scripted for them, but just didn't work out. Just was not meant to be.
That do be how it goes sometimes. Alrighty.
This is awesome, Comm. You're a legend, mate.
Yeah.
Legend.
Thank you.
Well, you were a legend before tonight, and you're still a legend. Even more of a legend.
Really killed it in the Widechamp round, though. So, I'm not so sure about your best of 1 theory, because that was a Game 5 win right there. That was a huge Game 5 win, I think.
True.
So.
Yeah, clutch shit.
Good for you. Good for you on that one. So.
What were my 2 losses?
Well,
not having a hot take.
Yep.
Until late.
That's true.
That was a mid-series loss there.
Yeah. What other stupid shit did he say, Johnny?
I don't know if I can think of anything. Don't think I think of anything.
Your loss? Maybe your loss about not knowing anything about EU is a loss, but also a huge win at the same time. It's just one of those things where it's like
started off as a loss because we were like going to ask you about like who your EU dream team would be, but you're like, I don't even watch that region. We're like, okay, next question. But it came back to actually provide some phenomenal content.
It's like when somebody's like, what's your biggest weakness in a job interview? And you're like, I work too hard and I care too much. I just care too much about everything. Good.
That's the equivalent.
It's all good.
Everybody remember to go watch Comm and Jbot on Lachinio.
I posted it in the chat, but I'll do it again.
Just a reminder, because I'm sure some people are waiting till after.
Yeah.
Click that, because that's usually what I do. I like click on all the links, and then I forget to watch them all. So do remember, it's awesome. Ton of fun.
Cool. All right, Comm, thank you very much for being on the pod. Folks, you can find him on Twitter at RL_Comm. Is your Twitch the same?
Twitch is CommRL.
CommRL. Reverse that. And no underscore, just CommRL?
No underscore, just CommRL.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the pod. That's going to do it for the Comm episode. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the love, the support, the comments, the subscriptions. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I'm sure it's a bug. You meant to be subscribed the whole time. Just go ahead and do that. No problem. And while you're at it, what I would like you to do next is nothing. Just let YouTube autoplay take you through the magic that is the rest of the episodes of the Saltcast. And while you're waiting for it to do that, join the Discord, discord.gg/Smellsworth. All the updates are posted in there, and soon all of the streaming schedule as well. So you can know when we're going to be live with different types of events all the time, 24/7, 365. Here we go. Saltcast for the win.